August, arrival 6:59 a.m. I used the key safe and let myself into Edith's house. She was awake in her chair.
All right, love. Not late today, well done. What's the weather doing? Let me guess, rain again. Summer's practically over. I put this cardigan out, my other clothes are on the radiator. Make sure you don't forget me foot cream. And my fluffy socks, you always forget the foot cream.
I reminded her that it was shower morning.
Already. Right, well you better lead the way then.
I prompted Edith to use her stick.
My legs still work, thanks, lovey. I won't be using that hunk of metal till I'm practically crawling on the floor. I'm perfectly capable of doing it myself. You're just here to pass me things.
Edith walked unassisted into the bathroom and I helped her to wash her hair. I then assisted with drying and dressing.
Picked out my brown cardigan because it's my favourite, you know. You have to put my clothes out the night before or you carers address me in any bloody nonsense.
Edith walked slowly back to her chair and asked for
toast. I want toast this morning, none of that new porridge stuff.
She declined the porridge bought by her daughter. Again.
You think a girl would know a mother by now. None of that nasty porridge slop. I still have my teeth, you know. Something about cholesterol and calcium and I'll eat that glue when she does.
I gave her a cup of juice and her medication to take.
Where's me cup of tea?
And a cup of tea. I made sure she had everything to hand.
Look, last time you forgot about the remote and I had to walk all the way over there to get it. I could have slipped, I could have fell and I could have died, all because of you.
We had a lovely chat.
Suppose you're done now then, are you? Just going to leave me to my own devices? I want it written in that book of yours that I need more time in the morning. I feel rushed off my feet. I like to get ready at my own pace. Just because you have to go to some other old dear.
Edith has requested more time in the morning with carers. She currently has an hour and a half.
Oh, and don't you forget to lock that door on your way out. Anyone could get in here, you know.
The door is locked and the key is back in the key safe. I wish Edith a good rest of her day. Time, 8:28 a.m. Arrival, 8:42 a.m. I used the key safe to let myself in. Val was in the kitchen.
Oh, hello, darling. I was just making a cup of tea. Would you like one?
I assisted Val to make a cup of tea for us both and prompted her to make some breakfast.
Yes, breakfast. You can't be forgetting that. The most important meal of the day. Do you want any, love? I've got cereal, toast, those holy things. What do you call them again?
Val settled on some crumpets with jam.
Ah, yes, crumpets. Thanks, darling. These words just slip my mind every now and again. Could you take them through to the other room?
I took her breakfast and her medication through to the front room and got her all settled.
Come on in. Would you like a cup of tea? I can put the kettle on. Take a seat. Oh, I love sitting in this chair. You get to see out the window. I don't see many people out here though, but I can see all the fields. My father used to be a farmer, you know. He used to take me out to the fields and let me feed the animals. He was a kind man, but harsh, you know. I tell you, he made me pull my weight as well. The mucking out and the long hours. Oh, but I loved it. I loved getting all muddy and making sure the animals were fed. I had my own horse, you know. Her name was Hattie. Beautiful creature. Dark brown coat and these little white socks. There's a photo just here on the fireplace. My father had to sell her to get money for the farm. I cried for days, but I'll always remember her.
We had a lovely chat.
I tell you what, I should put the kettle on and I'll tell you some more.
I reminded Val that she had a cup of tea on the side and prepared her a sandwich for her lunch, which I left in the kitchen. I left a note next to Val to remind her it was there.
Oh, you are good to me, darling. Are you sure you don't want to stay for a cup of tea?
I made sure everything was to hand and said goodbye to Val. The key was returned to the key safe. Time 9:17 a.m. I arrived at Joy's house at 9:31 a.m. I could hear Joy was listening to her radio upon arrival, and I had to knock loudly.
Oh, hiya! Lucy, isn't it? Oh, I always remember you because you're the one with the pretty smile. How are you, sweetheart? Your family okay? Oh, did you go meet that lovely man you were telling me about last week? Oh, do you come in and tell me?
Joy had already opened the curtains, got dressed, and even made the bed. So I offered her some breakfast and a cup of tea.
Oh, you're such a dear. I'd love a drink if it's not too much trouble. I don't mind helping. I know you're just here to check up on me because I can handle most things myself. Although I haven't taken my medication yet, but I know you loves like to write it in your little books. I haven't read you, see?
Joy took her medication and we had a lovely chat.
So tell me, this gentleman, was he anything like my Cedric? Did he take you dancing? Did he take you to the pictures? Oh, I'll always remember the first time I met Cedric. It was just after the war, I was only 19. I'd just begun my nurse training. My friends, Dorothy and Iris, we went to the local dance hall. People don't do that much anymore, do they? Go to the local dance halls. You have to remember, Chick, there weren't too many men around at this time. But there was a few. And they were never really there to dance. Neither were most of the women. But I wasn't too fussed at the time. I just wanted to dance. And when along he came, out of nowhere, this strapping young gentleman told me his name was Cedric. Asked if I wanted to dance with him, and I couldn't say no, could I? Oh, I tell you, he was a fine dancer too. Less than a year later, we were married. I tell you, a strong marriage is built on trust, and he could spin me round any day. He never dropped me. We built our lives together here, you know. Cedric worked in trains and engineering, and he always supported me through my nursing career. I think he would have liked our family, though. A proper family. Just never happened, you know. Don't get me wrong, the house was still full of love. We had plenty of dogs in our time. There's one thing I could just never give him. Start young, Chick, if this fella's the one. And then you won't be left widowed and alone like me. No family left. Just your old girl powering through. Do you have time to stay for another cuppa? I could get the photo albums out or a jigsaw or something, maybe?
I told Joy to make a shopping list ready for my next visit so I can pick up her essentials, and I made sure everything was tidy. Joy followed me to the door and locked up. Time 10:03 a.m. Date is the 29th of September. Arrival 7:02 a.m. I used the key safe to let myself into Edith's house. She was awake.
Any minute later and you'd be classed as late, me love. Was it hard to get out of bed this morning? Do you need me stick?
Edith greeted me kindly.
Come on, it's colder this morning. I can hear the rain. I want me foot cream and me fluffy socks. I already picked out my cardigan.
I assisted Edith with cleaning and dressing and prompted her to use her stick into the living room.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't need that hunker. Oh.
After becoming unsteady on her feet, Edith used the stick the rest of the way to the living room.
Right. Well, breakfast.
Edith had her usual toast with jam and a cup of tea.
You're always forgetting something, you are. Maybe you should be sat here in this chair and I should be looking after you. Maybe I should write you a list to tick off every morning. But I suppose I was hoping you'd come so often, you'd just start to remember by now. Where's me juice?
I provided Edith with her juice to take her morning medication.
Look, my family are coming later. I want to go to the mirror to tidy myself up a bit. A lady always looks her best. Not that you'd know.
Edith wanted to go to the mirror to brush her hair, but I tried to persuade her to let me bring the mirror over, as she had just been quite unstable.
Look here, lovey. It's easy for you. You can go out whenever you want. You can make yourself food whenever you want. I have control over very few things right now. Which cardigan I want, what you feed me in the morning. So if one of them is being able to go to the mirror to tidy up my hair, then you need to let me.
Edith was very assertive today.
You're quiet today, lovey. Should speak up a bit. A lady is always clear with her words.
I apologised to Edith for not respecting her independence and ensured everything was to hand and locked up. Time, 8:31 a.m. "8:45 a.m. When I arrived, the door was unlocked. I found Val in the kitchen in her pyjamas. She appeared to have been outside as her clothes were slightly damp from the earlier rain, and she had brought mud inside the kitchen.
Oh, hello, darling. Such a lovely day outside, isn't it? I was up early to get all my jobs done on time. Ready for breakfast.
I asked Val if she'd like to get changed before any breakfast and assisted her to change into something more comfortable.
It's so nice of you to join us this morning, darling. Would you like some... Oh. Wow. What a mess. Did you bring this in, darling? It's okay if you did. I won't shout.
Upon re-entering the kitchen, Val was confused as to why there was mud on the floor.
I'll go get the mop. There's no shame in a little bit of mess every now and again. And if it wasn't you, I'm pretty sure I know who it was.
I made Val her cup of tea while she fetched the mop for me to clean the floor.
Oh, wow. What a mess, darling.
Val returned without the mop, so I politely reminded her of the situation and took her through to the living room with her breakfast.
Thank you, darling. I could have made breakfast. You're a guest here. Would you like a cuppa? Take a seat, that you can see the rain coming down. I'm glad I'm not working in those fields. My father was a farmer, though, you know. He used to take me out to the fields and let me feed the animals. Such a lovely man. He made sure I pulled my weight, though. The mucking out and the long hours. Oh, I love it. I love getting all muddy and making sure the animals are cared for. I even had my own horse, you know. Her name's Hattie. You've never seen a horse like her. Beautiful, dark brown coat and these little white socks. There's a photo just here on the fireplace. My father tried to sell her, though, for extra money for the farm. I cried for days, but I'll always remember her.
Val seemed a little confused today, but once settled, we had a lovely chat.
I'll see you out, darling. I could do with some fresh air.
I prompted Val to stay inside, as it was raining, so that I could lock the door upon leaving. The office has been informed of the unlocked door that I arrived to. Time, 9:25 a.m.
Take care, darling. Don't forget to visit soon.
Arrival, 9:43 a.m. I knocked and waited for Joy to open the door. She seemed very cheery today.
Lucy, good morning. A few minutes early, but I finished making your cup of tea. 1 sugar and a dash of milk, just how you like it. Come on in, out the rain, chick.
Joy had prepared a cup of tea for herself and I. I asked her if...
Everything's done, my love. Bed is made, curtains opened. I've even washed up my dishes from my porridge this morning. There's nothing left for you to do, so come and have a chat. I'm writing that book of yours. I tell you, I've made a list of everything I saw on TV last night, and I thought, oh, I must tell Luce about this tomorrow when she comes. I only see you a few times a week now. I got you so used to seeing you every day. I just keep cutting my time down. I should probably stop doing things for myself,
Joy
eh?
had prepared a list of conversation topics to discuss.
Right, let's see. First on my list, those floods that are coming in the next few weeks. I was watching the weather last night and they seem rather worried about them. So, when you're out, be careful. Have you got an umbrella? There's a spare one by the front door. You take that with you when you go. I don't want you catching a cold or getting ill because I'll see you even less. You're basically my only visitor as it is. Oh, and do be careful on those roads. Let's see what's next. Oh, yes. Oh, I was watching an animal programme and they said something about bees going extinct. And I thought, God, what would I put on my porridge if I don't have my honey? So, they said there's these flowers you can plant that make it all homely for the bees. So I was wondering, when it gets a bit warmer, if you want to help me plant them for the bees. I'll give you some extra money, of course, with my shopping. Oh, and finally, let's see, right? The chase. Did you see it? Oh, I was so excited. They won the lot. Oh, and that Bradley's a right cheeky chappy, isn't he? I thought, maybe me and you should go on and get some money for my bee sanctuary.
I had a lovely time chatting with Joy. She wanted me to write about her bee garden plans in the book, so we don't forget to buy the plants. There was nothing more for me to do for Joy today, other than to take off her medication. She seemed happy and well upon leaving.
I'll see you in a couple of days, Chick, all right? I'll have the kettle on ready. You take care. You look a bit tired today, though, so take it easy. You know where I am if you need a chat.
Time for leaving, 10:14 a.m.
Edith's house at 7:07 a.m. I was a bit delayed by traffic due to the floods. I used the key safe. Edith was not in her chair on arrival. I called out to her and found that she was in the bedroom on the floor. She had fallen next to her bed. I called an ambulance as protocol states, even though Edith protested and wished for me to pick her up myself. I called the office and got them to inform her family. I made sure that she was warm and comfortable as possible. I sat on the floor next to her. Edith was visibly upset. She said she didn't want the paramedics or her family to see her like this. I told her that the important thing was that she was safe, and I asked her details of what had happened. Edith stated that she had tried to get out of bed at around 6 a.m. to go to the bathroom, but her legs felt shaky and she fell. She'd since wet her trousers, so I helped to keep her covered up to protect her dignity. I told her that this was an accident and in no way, shape or form her fault. Her family arrived at 8:20 a.m. We were still waiting for the paramedics. I made them a cup of tea and talked them through what Edith had told me. The family have suggested to set up a meeting with the office to discuss extra things now that Edith is becoming more and more unstable. They're also looking into an emergency buzzer for Edith to wear. The family were happy to take over care, and I left at 8:35 a.m. I arrived at Val's house at 8:49 a.m. The door was unlocked, and I couldn't initially find Val. I was about to call for help when I spotted her outside. Upon meeting Val, she seemed very distressed. She kept calling for Hattie, and she appeared lost. She asked me to help find her because she really wanted the chance to say goodbye. I tried to get Val inside because it was cold and she was soaked through from the rain. I called the office and got them to ring Val's family to inform them of the situation. After 10 minutes outside, I managed to get Val indoors. I got her changed and sat her with a blanket to warm her up. I made her breakfast and a cup of tea. The picture on the mantelpiece seemed to soothe her, so I made sure that it was close by. We sat and talked, and she started to seem to understand her surroundings a little more. The family arrived as I was about to leave to continue care for Val. It was discussed that Val needs more round-the-clock supervision and more secure measures, especially as the fields are so close by. They'll follow this up with the office. Time, 9:26 a.m.
This is Happy Minds Home Care. Jeanette speaking.
Jeanette, it's Lucy again.
Oh. Lucy. What do you need now?
I think I've just been in a car accident.
Oh. Wow. Okay. Are you okay?
I think so.
Right. Where are you?
Just round the corner from Joy's house.
Right. Those residential roads?
Yeah.
Not a fast crash then?
No. I stopped to let another car through, and this car just came from behind me and smashed me into a lamppost, and I just can't stop shaking.
Right. Do you think you can make it to Joy's house? You usually have a 10-minute break after then. Just pop in, make her a cuppa. Give yourself time to process and us time to find someone to cover the rest of the day. Or can you do the rest of the day?
I think someone's called the police, so I should probably wait here.
Just one more call, it's only Joy.
I really don't think I can.
You're young and you said you don't think you're hurt.
But please, can someone else just not do it?
I'm quite disappointed in your attitude, Lucy. I didn't expect you to leave Joy. Poor woman has no family or friends and you're only 5 minutes away. I'll have to go and sort this out. I'll call you later for an update and see if you can carry on with your duties tomorrow.